if you're with CommBank, you're gonna be aware of this. They've sent this email out to goodness knows how many thousands, perhaps millions of people with CommBank. It seems fairly innocuous at first. It's called Know Your Customer, and they just want to know more details about you, have a check in the pulse, see what you're after. Are you happy with our service? But read the fine print and you will be absolutely disgusted. This is the email from CommBank. They threaten to remove your ability to use and access your account or accounts, remove your ability to use any linked cards, including at ATMs, at point of sales and online.
What if I told you that your bank, the one you've been with for decades, the one that holds your mortgage, your savings, your entire financial life, could send you an email tomorrow demanding to know exactly how much cash you have stuffed under your mattress? And what if that email gave you just 7 days to answer? Or they would cut you off from your own money, not just freeze a transaction, but lock you out of your accounts entirely. No access to your wages, your savings, your emergency fund. Nothing. Sounds insane, right? Like something out of a dystopian novel. Well, this isn't fiction. This is exactly what happened to a respected Aussie businessman just a few months ago. An email from the Commonwealth Bank, cold and threatening, demanding to know the source of his wealth, why he'd made certain cash withdrawals, and the big one, if you are holding cash at home, why? Not how much, but why. As if holding your own money in your own home is now a crime that requires justification. This isn't just a one-off, bizarre incident. This is a glimpse into the future of banking in Australia. A future where your financial privacy is dead, where every transaction is scrutinised, and where the banks, under the guise of security, are building a digital cage around your money. They're treating every single one of us like a potential criminal, and they're just getting started. Today, we're going to pull apart this Orwellian email, expose the real reason the banks are doing this, and connect the dots between this disgusting overreach, the push for a cashless society, and the government's plan for a central bank digital currency. It's official. Australia is just days away from total financial control. But before we dive into the chilling details, a quick word. The information we're about to share is something the mainstream media and the big banks hope you never hear. They want you to stay asleep. We are 100% funded by you, our viewers, which allows us to be the resistance to expose the truth without fear. If you want to help us fight back against this corruption and keep these uncensored reports coming, please consider joining our Patreon. It's the only thing that keeps this channel going. The link is in the description. Every dollar is a vote for freedom. Our story begins on May 13th this year, when Louis Christopher, the founder of a highly respected property research firm, SQM Research, received an email from the Commonwealth Bank.
Louis Christopher, he's the founder of a respected property research firm, and upon reading this email, it was so invasive, he thought to himself, this has got to be a scam. This cannot be legitimate. The questions that they're asking me, he calls up the bank, and to his utter disgust, he said, this thing's Orwellian. They said, no, it's legitimately from us.
This isn't some fly-by-night operator. Christopher is a high-profile, credible figure in the Australian financial landscape, and he'd been a loyal CBA customer since 1978. That's 47 years. You'd think that would count for something. Apparently not. The email, which he later described as disgusting and absolutely despicable Orwellian stuff, demanded he provide updated personal information within 7 days. If he didn't comply, the bank threatened to discontinue, restrict, or limit access to his accounts. He thought it was a scam, so he called the bank on a different number. It was real. The bank representative then subjected him to a financial interrogation. They demanded to know how he had built his wealth. They questioned specific transactions to third parties. And then came the questions that should send a shiver down the spine of every Australian. Why have you made cash withdrawals? And if you're holding cash at home, why? Let that sink in. Your bank demanding you justify holding your own legal tender cash. Christopher was rightly shocked, telling them that sharing that information was a massive security risk. I mean, can you imagine? Your bank creates a digital record that you keep cash at home, a record that could be accessed by a rogue employee or a hacker, or even be shared with other third parties. It's like painting a target on your own back. His post about the experience on social media went viral, viewed over 400,000 times, with scores of other Aussies sharing similar horror stories of having their accounts frozen or restricted for no good reason. The most chilling part, at the end of the call, the bank informed him that they would be sharing his personal financial information, not just with regulatory authorities, but with other third-party credit providers. He said he had to agree under duress. So what's the bank's excuse for this outrageous invasion of privacy? They're blaming AUSTRAC, the Australian Transaction Reports and Analysis Centre. They claim they are simply following the Know Your Customer or KYC rules under the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Financing Act. It's all about stopping terrorists and money launderers, you see. It's for your own good. But here's the kicker. After Louis Christopher's story blew up, Austrac itself released a statement clarifying that they do not require banks to freeze customer accounts to meet these KYC rules. The banks are choosing to do this, so why the heavy-handed approach? The answer lies in one number: $700 million. In 2018, the Commonwealth Bank was slapped with a $700 million fine for what was described as serious and systemic non-compliance with these very same anti-money laundering laws. They had allowed tens of thousands of illegal transactions, some linked to drug syndicates, to flow through their systems. They got caught with their pants down, and now they're running scared. They're so terrified of another massive penalty that they've adopted a scorched earth policy. They're casting a wide net, treating every customer as a potential criminal, and collecting far more data than necessary just to cover their own backsides. It's a system that prioritizes their compliance over your rights, their bottom line over your privacy. You are guilty until proven innocent in the Court of Commonwealth Bank. This incident isn't happening in a vacuum. It's a critical piece of a much larger puzzle that is being assembled right before our eyes. While the banks are busy interrogating you about the cash in your wallet, the government and the Reserve Bank are building the infrastructure for a future where cash doesn't even exist. First, you have the Digital ID Act, which passed last year. This creates the framework for a national, government-controlled digital identity system. They sell it as convenience, but it's the foundation for tracking and monitoring your every move online and eventually offline. It's the same model the UK is now following with its BRIC card, and they're literally pointing to Australia as the blueprint. Second, you have the relentless push towards a cashless society. Banks are closing branches, removing ATMs, and as we saw with CBA, treating cash withdrawals as suspicious activity. They want to eliminate physical money because it's private, anonymous, and can't be easily controlled. There was even a report from Yahoo Finance this year titled "Glaring $3,750 Figure That Proves Australia's Cashless Society is Already Here." The agenda is out in the open. And third, the final piece of the puzzle, a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. In July this year, the Reserve Bank of Australia announced Project Acacia, a major step towards creating a wholesale CBDC. They claim it's just for banks and big institutions for now, and that there's no economic benefit in a retail version for everyday people. But that's a classic political non-denial. They're building the pipes, testing the system with real money and assets. 19 pilot cases involving actual transactions, 5 proof-of-concept use cases. Once the infrastructure is in place, flicking the switch to a retail CBDC will be easy. It's not a matter of if, but when. And when that happens, the government will have complete visibility and control over every single dollar you earn, save, and spend. When you put these three things together, a mandatory digital ID, the elimination of cash, and a government-controlled digital currency, you get a perfect triangle of financial control. a system where every single transaction is recorded, tracked, and approved by the state. So what does this future look like? A CBDC isn't just digital money, it's programmable money. It's money with strings attached. It's a world where the government and the banks have the power to decide what you can and can't spend your money on. Imagine this. You buy too much petrol this month, exceeding your carbon allowance. Your CBDC wallet simply won't let you buy any more. You donate to a political cause the government doesn't like, your account is flagged and your transactions are restricted, you attend a protest, your funds are frozen, just like they did to the truckers in Canada. You post something on social media that gets flagged as misinformation, your ability to purchase plane tickets or book hotels is suspended. This isn't a hypothetical, it's the entire point of the technology from their perspective. It's social credit by another name, and it's coming to Australia. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the power that a CBDC gives them. The Orwellian email from the Commonwealth Bank wasn't an error, it was a warning. It was a glimpse into a future where your money is no longer a tool for your freedom, but a leash for your obedience. They are normalizing financial interrogation, making us accustomed to having to justify our own financial decisions. They are preparing us for a world where financial freedom is a memory, a relic of a bygone era before total surveillance. This is the fight for our financial soul. The lines are being drawn right now. Will we be a nation of free individuals or a society of financially tethered subjects? The choice is still ours, but the window's closing fast. Every time a bank branch closes, every time you're nudged to use a digital payment instead of cash, another bar is added to the cage. If you're as outraged by this as I am, you need to get informed and get loud. And you need to support the channels that are brave enough to tell you the truth. The mainstream media won't touch this story with a 10-foot pole. They are part of the system. We are the resistance. Join our Patreon, share this video, and let's wake Australia up before it's too late. The link is in the description. Let's show them we won't be controlled. To see the latest Australian crisis, click this video here.